it straight from the chair. We ain't just talking about hair. Here to feed your mind, enrich your soul. Just leave the noise behind, lay down your load. Come get it straight from the chair. We ain't just talking about hair. Here to feed your mind, enrich your soul. Just leave the noise behind, lay down your load, and get it straight from the chair.
Okay. Hold on, Shay. So before we start and before I do the introduction, we're going to do this disclaimer. This conversation for the next 2 weeks will be about family and friends. Now, listen, family and friends, if you are any way offended about the conversation that Shay and I are about to have, or if you're any way thinking that this conversation is about you, it might be. Or it may not be not. But if you're really reaching, we're really just talking about friendship. We're going to start with friendships today because we're going to start on ours. But if you feel any kind of way about the conversations we're going to have, just reevaluate yourself and reevaluate the situation, because we're going to be so transparent tonight that, yeah, we might touch some people. We don't even talk about some stuff that we went through. And, friendships are a journey. And the fact that we are still here from 1994, I mean, I want y'all to know this speaks a lot. So you have to understand that friendships are not just a straight line. It is not for the faint of heart. Now, family, everybody close your eyes in Jesus' name. That will be next week. So look, after you close your eyes. So we're going to do a 2-part series. This week, we're going to talk about friends, the relations, cultivating the relationships, and navigating through the relationship of friendship and how it affects the mental health. And next week, we're going to follow up with family. Next week, we are going to try our best to make it a live audience show again. Would y'all like that? Would y'all love to be in the audience to talk to Dr. Shay? I haven't introduced her yet, but she will be in the building. So next week, y'all get ready with your family questions and family situations, and yeah. So tonight, I am going to introduce to some of you all, and this is my girl from, I think we didn't even know we grew up in the same neighborhood, did we, Shay? No, not at first. So I'm going to introduce to you all Dr. Shatavia Alexander Thomas is who I know. And I'm going to let her give a little bit of background, and then we're going to dive into the conversation. Hey, Shay.
So I have a disclaimer.
Okay, I'll start with her disclaimer.
Yes, this
Yes, yes.
And as a therapist, you are always taught to, like, uphold professionalism and be mindful about self-disclosure and all of that.
Right.
And I go back and forth with that because I do feel like transparency is healing, even though there are boundaries. And what we're going to talk about tonight and next week is boundaries. But so I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I have been in the mental health field for about 20 years. I also do some other things on the side, speaking, writing, things of that nature. I consider myself a mental health advocate. I'm a wife, I'm a mom of a middle schooler who's almost made it through sixth grade during the pandemic. Praise the Lord. And I have a lot of family. I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of associates. I have a lot of history. And I'm still learning and growing. And so this business of cultivating.
Whoa. Back up. You are the godmother of who?
I am the godmother of Cameron Emmanuel Giles.
Yes.
Son of the illustrious Crystal.
I thought you was getting ready to say that school you went to.
Okay, so let's go there.
Okay, let's start with the introduction. Listen. So for those of you who are not from Atlanta and you're watching, Shay and I attended rivalry high schools. And as much as we were rivals, we are like the best. I mean, you have so many people that went to Mays and Doug. So we're talking about high schools. I went to the Frederick Douglass High School, Astros, and she went to
Benjamin Elijah Mays, Math and Science Academy, if you want to be exact.
Whatever. But like really, whatever. So we were black and gold. They were baby blue and yellow. What? What? Y'all were powder blue, baby blue, soft blue. Y'all was soft blue. All my Astros put some black and gold hearts up. All y'all Mays folks, do what you want to do. We love you. We love y'all. But guess what? My son had to attend your alma mater. My son had to attend your alma mater. Whatever. Whatever. But yeah, our relationship. So we're just gonna journey through our relationship, and we're gonna jump on different things of how we journey through our relationship. So first of all, we met through somebody that I was extremely close through, and you were their cousin. What are you to them? Cousin, yep. Yes, you were their cousin. And we all went to a trip to Whitewaters, y'all. And honey, it was Whitewaters because I remember walking up that hill singing "Push It," and we stepping out talking about yo, baby pops. Yes, so that was us, and that's how we met. And y'all, believe it or not, Shatavia grew up around the corner, and when I say around the corner, I literally mean around the corner. So we would definitely, yes, Bankhead bred kids. Like, this is what two Bankhead professionals look like. Put a frame around yourself, Shay. So people always have this vision of what people from Bankhead should and shouldn't look like. Y'all, deep. We are definitely Bankhead. We love Atlanta to our soul. Anybody that knows me knows that I love everything about Atlanta. And if you know Shay, I'm sorry, what's the girl's name? We passed the test. The song that just came out. We passed the test. We need to go through the schools. You listen. Listen, the only people who were really mad about that song were people who really aren't from here. So you mean to tell me Outkast ain't from Atlanta? You mean to tell me these people have rep East Point all their life? Like, I'm like, why are y'all mad? You're not even from here. Like, let it go. You did not go to APS. This is what Atlanta Public Schools produces. And this is who we are. So if you didn't go to APS, you ain't from Atlanta. That's right. We don't want to play her song, but I'm just saying. Southwest Middle School, Mays High School. And if I go way back, Lindsay's early achievement. Listen. My early achievement was Allegro Drive outside because my grandmama said go outside. But Kaya Heights all the way to Douglas. So I didn't go to middle school, just Kaya Heights and Douglas. Some of you, yeah. So we didn't have a middle school over on our side, but this is where we came up. So Shatavia and I became friends and real close, and started hanging out. Aside from our mutual friend and her cousin. And what happened then, Shay? Did you go off to school? I went off to school. I went away to New Orleans for my first 2 years of undergrad. Yep. And I went to the military. Yep. So I gone to the military, and I came back in whatever year that was, and I went to hair school. I was at Atlanta Tech. Well, at that point, you had come back. Yep. But you couldn't tell. Yeah, you were having too much fun in New Orleans? So tell me about some of your friendships in New Orleans. How did they? Ooh. So my biggest memory in terms of friendships in New Orleans is when I had like 8 to 10 girls come home with me for free tickets. My mom, now you know my mama. Right? You see my face? Right, yes. We go into this picnic and they coming home. So I literally had my girl from New York, my girl from Chicago, a lot of, I think it was about 8 of us that all met up. And yeah, I think that was 95, if I'm not mistaken. Probably the last freak meet. Because I was only there for 2 years. When you grow up, look, I'm trying to see what I want to say. Right. Friendships in New Orleans was very interesting because, when you go off to school and you've been under the umbrella and protection and namesake and all of that of your family for so long, and you go to a place like New Orleans in 1994, yes. It's very interesting. So I definitely had different pockets of friends, some from Atlanta that came from the same high school, some with the same interests because I was a biology major and a chemistry minor at the time. And some I just ended up also hanging out with a lot of, neighborhood people from New Orleans. And so that, and I think the beautiful thing about friendships, because we're talking about friendships and boundaries and all of that, I am so grateful for every connection and experience that I have had. Because just like here at home, we talk about the bankhead to buckhead experience. I think that's so important. When I was 18, 19, 20 years old, going through all of those experiences, it gives me a different perspective on life and different things. So, yeah. And I still am connected to many, many people that I met there. Now that's crazy. So you talk about you in New Orleans in the military. I think it was kind of different for me, mainly because I don't think anybody could have guessed that I was going to the military. Like I was not that girl. I always been like a tomboy, but I definitely was not that girl. No ROTC, nothing that said I was going into the military. So when I got there, I did this thing in the military that I recognized that I didn't want to be the top dog, meaning I didn't want to show them like I have natural athletic skills from DNA. But I don't like to be pushed. I don't like competition. I'm not a competitor in no shape, form, or fashion. Like that's just not my thing, is to compete. So, but I knew I didn't want to be in the remedial in the military. So like this is all with PT, mainly with physical training. So I would do just enough to be in the middle. So I met a lot of friends that were like that because once we seen when you tried to be top dog, they like rolled you. And then when you like remedial, it was like the worst. So I kind of just stayed average so I could just stay in the middle. So with that, I got a lot of friends because I was doing hair in the barracks. So if anybody's in the girl, let me tell you, when you first join the military, they take you and they got you on these old school cow trucks in the middle of the night, and they pull you out when it's dark. We don't even know like where you are. We didn't even know the whole time we were in basic training that we were right by the exit gate. Like if we really wanted to run away, we could have just went right up the street, but we didn't know that because they bring you in at night. So they take all your stuff out, right, and put it in your bag. So anything you don't need, your hair dryer, blow dryer, curlers, everything, they left it in the bag. So this one white female, she found the lock and key to where they stored all our stuff. So she was like, if y'all want anything out of here, y'all need to come. So, all the black girls went in there and got their hair stuff. So I was like, come on, y'all. So we stored them in the ceiling of the bathroom. So that's how our friendship became because we were like, it was like 5 of us in the military that was just like, listen, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. And we had one white girl who was with us that it became so crazy. She hung with us so much. And it got to a point where this is where friendships, where I was getting ready to talk about how friendships can be stereotyped. And not, coming from APS, I've never been around a whole bunch of white people. Like if you were in APS, Atlanta Public Schools, you could go without ever seeing a white person. Like it's just real because we didn't. So when I got to the military, I was like this, like, I had to sleep with them, bathe with them. I'm like, whoa, Nelly, wait, what is this? What's all this shampooing your hair every day? Like I didn't know that part. So it was 5 of us and one girl was white. And we had plait her hair. She got braids when we went out to the field. And one of the drill sergeant, he was Asian. He was like, she got to take that down. That's not her heritage.
Oh, wow.
Now, why you say that to the little black girl from Bankhead who don't, she cool. Like, so now I have to go because my mouth done said some stuff. Now I got to go stand in front of the first sergeant and explain myself. Well, I still at that point didn't know. Understood rank, but I didn't understand how to respect rank because I figured I'm 18. I'm 18. I just say how you feel. This is what I want to do because you ain't my mama, you ain't my daddy. So I respect you. But so he said, y'all are like a gang. And I said, because we are friends and we're black, we got to be gangs. So it was the stereotype that kind of put me into, dang, they even prejudiced, like they even racist in the military. Because we all hang together, we were considered a gang. So it put me in a stink about the military then.
Yeah. You made me think of something because even stereotypes about friendships when people go on different paths, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody might feel some kind of way about, somebody that decides to get a job or somebody that goes to trade school, somebody that goes to college, somebody that goes to the military, somebody that doesn't do anything.
Right.
And so it's interesting how friendships can change or not.
Right.
Because of different journeys.
Right? Yeah. But that's what I loved about you. You welcomed me with that. In the beginning, I thought I dealt with the difference because I didn't go to college. But you couldn't tell me I wasn't a student at Georgia State. When she came back home and she enrolled in Georgia State, baby, when I tell you, I was at Georgia State like every day. And me, her, and Kareem were like in this twin bed sleep. Thank God we were real small then. Shay's still small, y'all. I didn't want to swallow up something. But like We stayed down there all the time. And y'all, this is where the transparency comes in. This is where me and Shay's relationship got bumpy. Shay was dating this guy. And Shay was in love. Shay was in love. And he was a dog. And I seen it. You just gonna put it up? Yeah, just like that. Okay. And I seen it. And I thought that I was doing my friend a favor by coming to let her know. Huh? Oh, by coming to tell her he ain't. And we gon', and you bet not. And if you do, like, this man was at my son's, I had Cameron's 3-year-old party. Like, he was there, like, he was part of our group, our family. We would go to stuff that he had, like, and when I seen what I saw, I was like, oh, heck no, she too good for him. She don't need to be. And guess what happened, y'all? My friend was like, leave my business alone. That's my man. And what I was like. And that's where we kind of.
So I'm, and this, I guess this would be an interesting question or something for other people, even watching later. Like when you have a friend, right? Mm-hmm. And we're talking about boundaries. How do you decide when to speak on something out of
love,
care, and concern, mm-hmm. and when do you draw the line to where you have to let them go through it and learn, and you can decide if you're gonna be there when they fall, or if you're gonna go to that person when you fall, and that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a good question, because even with that, it's like thinking even about the other person receiving the message. Do they want to receive it, or would they be mad that you didn't tell them? Right. Like you really, this is when friendship gets real sticky.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think this applies to any age, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're a teenager, in your 20s, 30s, 40s,
yeah.
Second marriage, third marriage.
Yes. Yes.
So you decide when to speak on your friends' relationships when you picking up on something that ain't right.
That ain't right. I mean, it's still sticky. If I was to see something today, I probably would, and honestly, just being transparent, I probably wouldn't say anything on that level, because I would, you know what I would do nowadays? I would let that person know that I seen them. Yeah. And let them try to handle it. But let them know that they were definitely, I'm talking about one of them go over to the table and speak, hey, how are you? Yeah, I think that's where I would be with it, because I experienced the hurt that it caused. Because I have experienced the pain that it caused. I'm pretty sure some people wanted to tell me about mine, my relationships with all kinds, like, and I'm pretty sure they wanted to, but I was one of them hard heads. I know you ain't talking to me.
Right. Hold on now.
Yeah, but so let's see. How long after that did it take us to get back together as friends?
I don't remember the details, but even that's interesting. Like sometimes friendships just kind of fade away and come back together. There's not always like a big blow up, and
right.
So sometimes that happens.
Right? Yeah, because that's real foggy for me. Yeah, that's real foggy for me. Like, to know when that happened again. It was like, I remember you being in Florida. I remember seeing the engagement photos, because I wanted to know who this guy was she was engaged to, because now I'm excited, because he better be worth something. And all I knew was, let me just accept him because she's accepted him. And I didn't want to bring our past into that. So I remember that point. And then I think it was the wedding. And yeah. Wait, did you get married first, or I got married? When did you get married?
2008.
So I got married first.
Yeah. I think it was coming back around, and even that, right? That journey that you went through, and me coming back.
Yeah. So we really wasn't distance and friends that long because you came back when Cameron was a baby.
Yeah.
And I remember you could not stand the way my aunt would talk to him.
You just killing everything.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. You.
You forgot our code word.
Oh, skirt. Listen. My bad. So, that's when Shay became his godmother back then. So it was, shoot, it just seemed like it was a long time. I guess it didn't take us long. See, this is what I'm talking about friendship.
Life circumstances, yeah.
When it's real friendship and it's true friends, you really don't even count you can't even put the calendar time on the calendar. Yeah, because
I have another friend like that, and we went our separate ways, and just life circumstances brought us back together. Combination of just growing up, going through things, dealing with parents that had medical concerns, and becoming parents. How about that?
How about that?
That gives you a certain kind of grace for people.
Yes.
And
Yeah. That was good. Yeah. So we both were in each other's wedding.
Yeah.
So I married in 2005, you in 2008. And then where do we go? I think like our friendship just became steady as married women with kids. It became just, okay, when I talk to you, I talk to you. Now, mind y'all, me and Shay did not live far from each other.
Right.
And we would go months without talking or seeing each other. And when I say not far, y'all, I'm talking about 2 miles.
Yeah,
not far at all. And when we seen each other, it was like, girl, why do we not just come around the corner?
I know.
But it's like marriage and kids kind of just take over, but it never ever took from our friendship.
Yeah.
You know what?
I don't know if I ever said this to you, but I think there was a period where I kind of and I want to say, let me just put this out there. Having a friend who owns a salon, who is a stylist, and then deciding that you're changing up something with your hair and they are no longer your stylist. And then that person not like looking at you a certain way. And I know we didn't have that conversation beforehand, but I have heard of other situations where it's like, wait a minute. And just the back and forth, because my hair woes. And our life woes. But
yes.
Even that, I could see that, because I did go through a period where I felt like I was like, I wasn't your client anymore. We didn't talk as much. Still Cameron's godmother. And just life just ebbed and flowed, and it brought about a different kind of relationship, but it was always still that genuineness.
Yeah.
And no time for pettiness. I think that's kind of the test of time for friendships. When you go through things, right? Because no relationship is perfect, but it's like you pick and choose what you want to focus on and what's irrelevant.
Let me tell you, with the hair and my friends, I choose y'all to be my friends over being my clients any day. Because y'all, my other friend, I can say Keisha's name. Keisha wears extensions, and I would do extensions, and I tried to do extensions, but it just was not my thing. It did not make me happy. I didn't really want to do it. So when you really don't want to do something, you are not your best at it. And what's that? Oh, that's your phone. So with that, I literally told her one day, Keisha, I just want to be friends. I don't want to do your hair no more. And I've told that to some other friends. Like, I want to be friends. It's too irritating to be a client because now you're picky. Now I have to judge this side. Now you don't want this, you don't want that. I don't want to do that. I want to go out and have a drink. I want to meet at our house. Yeah, and family. That works. Like my mother comes, my aunt on my dad's side comes on the regular, and literally my cousins them come maybe once or twice a year, maybe. But most of my family, I don't like that cross because I'd rather keep the friendship or the relationship with the family other than I didn't do it right or it's not what I want. I just don't. And then when you all come to me, when you do, because Shay still comes. See, I consider a person that comes to me one time a client, whether you come back. So I'll never look at it as I lose a client. I just look at it as they just went away somewhere. Like, but some of them I do get rid of. Some clients I do get rid of. Sorry if you're watching. But some clients I do get rid of because they're not in I don't like that energy in my space. So I will dismiss some clients, but most of the time, like my friends like you, Teresa, they come, y'all come and it's like, okay, y'all know what I do now. I get the hair healthy, I get it straight. I'm not doing no natural curls. Don't ask me to put your curls back in natural like don't ask me to do. What does it say? Healthy hair regardless. Yeah, I love what I do, but look, my new word, y'all listen to this. I don't do that. That is my new word. When I tell you I have said that 150 million times in the last 2 months, and people think I'm being funny, I'm not. I don't do that.
I like two things what you said. I like the boundary that you set with picking and choosing when you want to prioritize a friendship over a professional relationship.
Yeah.
And then also your professional boundary so that it doesn't, like you're not trying to change or force yourself into something because you know that's not your
right.
skill set or your preference.
Or my preference. My preference. This young lady told me, she was like, you missing out on all the money. You don't do no weave, no wigs. And I just stopped and looked around in the shop. I said, oh, okay. Well, I just missed out on all the money. Like that's not my preference. So I don't want to do that. But as far as like my friendships, I keep that. And then, even my clients who have become my friends. So they have definitely learned if we are out and you start talking about hair, I'm gonna slide you an invoice. Because if your job had you working after hours, you will be wanting to clock in. So don't talk to me about hair. So they all know it's like a running joke. One of my girlfriends, her daughter, she said they were in the car riding, and her daughter was like, well, I'm going to call Miss Crystal and ask. And she said it was like a Sunday. She was like, no, don't call her. I was like, I just set those boundaries for those friendships. So I've definitely created friendships with clients, but I definitely set boundaries.
And then you have to do a different kind of boundary.
Yeah.
And I thought, because I was thinking some people might be interested in how, in general, how this applies. I made a little note about different types of boundaries.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this. I think as you mature, you learn that a boundary is a line, right?
Mm-hmm.
A limit, expectations. It's not a boulder, and some people get it twisted and think that, oh, this is my boundary. No, that's you being reactive. That's not a boundary. And so when you talk about healthy boundaries, I think you have to know what your expectations are regarding your time, right? So what's your time boundary?
Mm-hmm.
What's your financial boundary? Ooh, let me sip some tea on that one.
Oh, you drinking tea?
Yeah, we sipping on that one.
Mm-hmm.
What is your moral boundary, your emotional boundary? Because sometimes friendships can feel one-sided, right? If you're the friend that everybody calls to talk about their problems, and then you've been on the phone an hour, and it's like, all right, girl, I'm gonna talk to you later. And you're like, oh, I ain't even get to.
I didn't get my part in.
How you doing? Like, where's the reciprocity?
Yes.
So sometimes friendships card to car,
Yes.
borrowing clothes, things, whatever the case may be. So when we think about friendships and boundaries, I love the stories that you were sharing about your time, right? And your values and your skill set. But there's so many things to think about.
Yeah, you said some things with people look at it when you put up a boundary or your interaction with them slows down. It's, oh, you acting funny now.
Yeah, no,
That
I'm protecting my peace.
that thing right there, like, and it's like we could have been doing a whole bunch of stuff during a season, and it's not the season, it's just changing. Like, I'm just doing something a little different. I might not even feel comfortable telling you I need to financially slow back, but I just automatically do it. Or I might not feel like I need to tell you that because you're my friend.
Yeah.
And you should just.
Or my mood has changed, and it has nothing to do with me and you. It's some stuff going on in my family or something going on in my life, and you shouldn't personalize it. I think that's another thing that some people make the mistake of. Oh, so and so ain't called me. We shouldn't make assumptions about that. That's one of the things I could not stand about the pandemic. There was a meme going around or something about if your friends haven't checked on you the whole pandemic or X amount of time has gone by, you don't know what people are going through.
Let me tell you.
So we can't make those kind of assumptions.
Yeah,
Some people do.
and mine was being the strong Black woman. When you are the strong Black woman, that means that used to go around that says check on your strong friends. I think people just heard it, but I don't think people really understood it. They did not understand it. If I could be as transparent as I need to be without my friend telling me I'm telling too much of my mental health, like I do. my time, yeah, my time during the pandemic was pure hell, like pure hell. That I need to pause for a second because.
Oh yeah, that's one thing we have in common. We both are crybabies. Don't start.
Yeah. The pandemic for me was hell. A lot of people would have never guessed the stuff that I had gone through during the pandemic. It was hard. It was really hard. From even going through it. Trey, you have me a towel right there. In the office. I'm sorry, y'all. Just that towel right there. Yeah, that's cool. I got it. Being in the beginning of my separation, that was the first time in my life I had ever been alone. Ever. I had my son at 23, and I didn't move out from my mom until I was pregnant. And to be alone at 43 for the first time ever was scary. It was extremely scary. And I think I think people got the perception of when I moved and how bold I was for moving. And then if anybody knew where I lived, they was just like, oh yeah, like you just stepped out. But that was the scariest time of my life. It was really, really hard. And I did that in 19, not knowing the pandemic was getting ready to happen. And when it shut down, doing hair is my mental outlet. I don't know if a lot of people knows that. I go to a place that's just like free for me. If I can transform somebody else, it gives me so much freedom. It gives me so much pleasure and so much energy to transform other people. That's why I love what I do. And it's because like I'm cutting hair and I'm thinking about, okay, what can I think of? I'm thinking about a podcast title. I'm thinking about what I could be doing next. Like I'm in a whole nother zone. It gives me a chance to just be free and really, really think. And when it was taken from me and I wasn't sick, my limbs weren't broken, nothing happened to me physically. And to know that it was taken from me, like my life was ripped. So people didn't understand that. All they kept saying was this strong black woman, this strong black woman. And I'm like, girl, I'm over here about to literally jump out this balcony. This was not a good place. That was not a good place for me. And I don't know if anybody knew me during that time. Well, if you saw me during that time, like I had lost a lot of weight. And I thought it was just because I was eating better. No, it was definitely because I was stressed. I never had high blood pressure, had to get on high blood pressure medicine, um, being medicated. You couldn't have told me ever I was gonna be on any kind of psychological drug. Like, I don't believe in that, girl. You ain't finna put me on no Xanax or something. Like, literally, y'all, I had to go all the way there. Like, it was not a good place for me. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think one of the things I've always appreciated about our friendship is that no matter how much time and space has been in between, and no matter what we were going through that we knew about or didn't know about, we could always be real with one another and not have to put on the strong black woman mask to keep up this image or persona.
Yeah.
And the second thing that I know is the glue for our friendship is our faith.
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
so our ability to keep it real with each other, even when there's been time and space and things going on, and our ability to like honor, yeah, girl, we're going through it, and God is good.
God is good. It's all the time. Yes, yes, yes.
But I'm gonna say, Lord, how much do you think I can take right now? Because
like what?
When you
yeah.
think about boundaries with your friends, sometimes you can't go to a certain friend because you feel the pressure or because they're going through something, right? And you don't even get to share because you're in the helper position and they're not knowing that you are drained. You are almost depleted yourself.
Yes. Yes. That part. That's the part. Like you said, you do have those friends that it's not that we wear this fake mask. I just need everybody to clarify this. It's not that we wear this fake mask. We wear this mask called the faith mask. So we have to still be professional in our careers. We can't tell everybody in our family we going through stuff. You can't let everybody know that you're going through stuff. So people say you put on. No, it's not a put on. It's a faith mask and my boundaries of who I set to choose to let this information out to. And I have to pick and choose carefully who I do that with, because you can get with the one that'll stay in it with you and let you sit in it, and as long as you're down, they continue to be around because now you're down with them, and so you can get caught up into continuously being, oh well, yeah, girl, yeah, me too, ooh, yeah, ooh. Then you got my sheroes like you, and I got quite a couple of them that are like, okay, you've been in this for a minute now. What we gonna do now?
What you gonna do about it? That's right.
Okay, what are we gonna do different? Because you've been doing that same thing for a minute. What are we gonna do different? What you gonna choose different? And I think one of the things I learned about being alone is being in a cocoon. This young lady told me, she was a good friend of mine that I met later in life. And she said, Crystal, when God puts you in a cocoon, he needs to separate you from everybody. And he puts the cocoon around you for protection while you're by yourself, while you're isolated. And it's not comfortable. Like imagine when the caterpillar is in the cocoon, there's no way really to move. And I kept visualizing that. And over my bed, there are pictures of butterflies. And those are some of the things that when I would scream and cry by myself at the house, I would just look at that and be like, I don't like this cocoon. Like this is too much because I'm a people person. It reminded me of like being on punishment. Like I did not want to be isolated. Like it was really.
One of the things I ask people to transform, like whether I'm talking to a friend or to a client, that you can get to a place when you're ready and when you have the right perspective and resources to transform your loneliness into a solitude that's going to serve you for a purpose.
Yes. And I think that's what I had to go through to understand. But because of my faith, even though I went through it, because of my faith, I know that there's another side. I know that I could. So what helps me from not being detrimental or doing the most dumbest thing is my son. So it brings me back to perspective of, okay, so how long you gonna be here? Because one of the things I have learned to do also was give myself the time to do it, to release it, to be in the moment, to have those feelings and to, let it loose, be angry, cry, have the emotions. So I've learned to set that. But I also learned that you get to make a choice of when you want to pick this up. You either want to pick it up and stay there, or you want to pick it up and do something different. And I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to stay in it. So y'all guess what I did? And I know I talk about it all the time. I got me a therapist. And oh, honey, I called my friend and said, Shay, I need therapy. She was like, and I can't help you. I said, what do you mean? That's how I heard it.
Let me explain to the people why, because I get this question, and not just me, other people get this question. Because we're talking about boundaries. This is the perfect opportunity to explain that you cannot speak clearly and from a unbiased position with your family, your friends, with your neighbor, with somebody you church with all the time, somebody you hang out with all the time. So as trained mental health professionals, licensed mental health professionals, we are trained that it is unethical to see family, friends, people that we have a difficult time setting boundaries. So what that meant for our relationship and for others is I have to learn when to put on my therapist hat and my friend hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at the same time, the boundary is if somebody shares certain things with me, because I am a therapist, there are certain things I have to do. I.e., if it's a crisis situation or, if I need to consult with somebody and figure out what to do. So it's very tough because we are often in that position. And so you can learn how to love and care and be there for people, but know that there's a line that can't be crossed.
Yeah, you know what? It was a topic that a time that I didn't talk about that you had to. I called you for your therapist hat, but you had to come in and be therapist, friend, and godmother all at the same time. And y'all, she had to come to Cameron's school because of something he did that they were getting ready to put Cameron out. And I was like, Shay, I need you at the school at 8 o'clock. I literally called her like at 7 o'clock in the morning and was like, I don't know what you're doing, but what I do know. But let me tell y'all how good God is. And this is always about not just my last guest, Lori, talked about not just your what, but your who's. When Shatavia walked into school and we were in the principal's office and she walked in, guess what happened, y'all? She was friends with the principal and they knew each other right away. Hallelujah. And had no idea. Yes, he was in elementary school, Shay. He was in elementary school, and that's when I like your friendships. You just don't know who you connected to. I did not know if that lady knew Shay, and no Shay. She knew Shay from a long time ago, like knew Shay. And when Shay walked in, they was like, ah! I was like, yes. Yes, but back to what was that?
You taught me something. I haven't shared this with you.
What?
You taught me something from one of your other podcast episodes, and as a therapist, I had to check myself because it is not a popular opinion, but I am not a big fan of this kind of like fad version of self care.
Okay.
So everybody talks about, oh, I want to get massages, my hair done, my nails done, and throughout this whole pandemic, I've been talking about how there's a distinction between self-care as in boundaries and self-love and self-acceptance and all of this stuff that people just spend in money. You gave me a perspective that I have never thought about before, and I wanted to thank you for that.
What I say?
And you connected it to not only your gift, but this role of how, somebody else might look at it like, why does she get her hair done all the time? But it feeds into, it creates this ripple effect, right, of self-esteem and self-worth, and how it doesn't have to always be this superficial, conceited thing of, oh, I want to look good and be presentable. It's when I look good, I feel good.
Yes.
It has a ripple effect.
Yes.
So you humbled me at that moment, and I was like, dang, that makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
And so I can see now why. And I want to give a shout out to you because I don't know if y'all know. For people who don't know, this woman is so giving. Just the things that you do with the revitalizing women and their self care over the years and self image and how you give it back through your philanthropic events. Out of the kindness of your heart, putting events together to do makeovers and things of that nature. So when she talks about a salon of style and substance, because it is so genuine and that's who she is and that's what she does. So.
Oh, give me my flowers. No, I appreciate that. I mean, I understand. I had to learn my value with that, and being able to. That's one of the reason I have so much passion in it, because I see the change that it makes. I've been in this thing for about 25 years, about 26 now, and I see the change that it has made in women's lives. Women come in for graduation, kids graduating to one, they cut their hair for a divorce or marriage, or wanting their hair totally different, want to lead a relaxer but don't really know why they want. So many different things, people wanting to change just because they heard somebody say something before, and I got to talk them off the ledge because that's not really what they want to do, but they're listening to what somebody else. So when people always ask me, oh, Crystal, you too expensive, you're not affordable, you're this, I'm just not the stylist for you. That's it, because I do understand my value, and to transform people in 2 hours, 3 if you're getting color or something. Like, I see more smiles through a mask During this pandemic, I seen so many smiles during that mass. We opened back up in May of 2020. So I know everybody was like, y'all out here, y'all are not essential workers. I can't believe the government opening back up. Yeah, y'all are talking at home from your corporate job that is still paying you to be able to work online. But for the catch is for these people that's working online who needs to look presentable, guess what? They were in my house during the pandemic getting their hair done. They were making sure that they look presentable because now you're in a role where Black women had to really double think this thing, and the corporate world had to say, oh, well, I guess we got to let them come to work looking like this because they don't get a chance to go do this, and we're used to them looking like this. So natural became like, it opened up a whole another world for the corporate world and our world. So when those women would come, their spirits were so down, like so down. People were so depressed that when, as I was styling, if anybody knows, when they come to me, I style in the mirror. You're facing the mirror as I'm styling. So as I'm styling, I'm transforming them. You could feel the weight lifted up off of them because they were walking around in pajamas, a scarf, hair not done. They didn't feel like they used to. They hadn't put on a pair of heels. They don't feel sexy, don't feel attractive. So now, boom. And I used to tell them, go home and put some heels on. Walk outside. Go to the store. Do something, like get yourself back together, because I know what that felt like, not being able to be yourself. And it wasn't nothing about being vain. It was far from being vain.
I'm not, one of these people so arrogant and caught up on the letters behind my name that I don't.
Uh-oh, what did we do? Oh, that was me.
Therapeutic that are not therapy. There are a lot of things that are therapeutic that are not therapy. That's what I said. And so, because you have that spirit about yourself, and I use it as a metaphor all the time. I tell people finding a therapist is like finding a hairstylist. You have to build that rapport. You have to have that open communication, and it's about fit. If they're not trained to offer what fits for you, but if you don't talk about that and give it time to manifest, right? And feed that relationship, you'll never know. And so, those are the two things I think were aha moments for me, that yes, it's not just this superficial, non-essential, service, because it has some benefit, but at the same time looking at, and I think it just goes back to that notion of, you can't judge people. You have to have grace and patience and understanding for situations that you don't know the whole story.
Well, that goes to friendship, what we were talking about with friendship. Just have grace for your friends. Like, you don't want to judge them all the time. You don't want to, point them. I was a bossy friend, y'all. I've always been a bossy friend. Like, I'm driving to all the parties and everywhere because ain't nobody else driving me. I'm that friend. But what I learned, what I thought I was doing was loving, and I love hard. So when I love hard, I feel like I just say whatever, I'm with you. But I'm also now, as I've grown, I'm not the friend to sit in it with you for a long time. I have, yes, I have set boundaries with friends who I'm like, listen, I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to do that. So when I start separating myself, I'm not that friend that's going to talk about a whole bunch of people. We're not getting ready to sit up here and judge everybody. Okay, well, all right then, girl. I'm not going to sit in your downfall for a long time because I'm that friend. So now what we doing? So what we going to do next? Okay, we've been there. How can I help? What is it that we can do to get out of this slump? Because we can't sit here forever. And I'm the friend now that I still say it like it is, but I've learned to soften my words. Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I do. And guess what? I'm at the point I'm good with friendships that are seasoned.
Yeah.
I am. I'm good. And it's no hard feelings. Like you said, you never know when the season comes back around.
Yeah.
You never.
It's funny you say that. I was thinking about different types of friends. I don't really like labels and stuff, but I think when I was thinking about different types of friends, like you have like the fun friend, right? You have that friend that's like fearless and fierce that you want if somebody's trying to
Look if you buck.
Right, right. You have your first friends, like friends you grew up with or known forever. You have your seasoned friends that are for like right now, or like let's say you made a good connection with a friend at work, but you don't work there anymore, and you know you're not trying to force it. You have your flaky friends, your fickle friends that may not always be dependable. And I don't, again, this is just keeping it real. You have some fake friends, you know, friends that gravitate towards you for a certain reason. You know, maybe they want something out of it, or maybe they're ulterior motives. You have fragile friends that you feel like are just, again, always needy. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you think about friendships being reciprocal, right? And how you want to set your boundaries, and then learning how to love and accept people. I have a good amount of friends that are so different from me, and I think the older I get, the more that I appreciate that it's not about us trying to change each other. You get to a certain point in maturity where you accept your friend for who she is.
That's it.
You know, or who he is, or who they are. And that's hard sometimes. Because when you go through different things in life, you may need a friend for a certain purpose. And maybe you go to this friend and not so.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. I like that, like all the different types of friends. And, you know, the older you get, not say older, the more mature you get.
Yeah, you know, it's so older people that.
Yes, that's why I changed older. I changed the age. We are not going to talk about age because some people still sit in some stuff. But the more mature you get, I think the more mature you get with your spiritual walk. Whatever your higher being walk, whatever it is, your spiritual walk for us, the more you become open, and you put people in certain categories, A, B, and C, and those are
My aunt taught me that you have different types of friends. You know, my aunt, they have friends that they've been cool with for like over 30 years. And I don't always understand it, but it's so admirable. And I remember she told me one time, you know,
Shay, we've been friends almost 30 years. We 46.
Oh, I sometimes I forget my age.
Yes, I'm like,
for almost 50 years then, 40
yes.
40 years.
Yes.
They're in their 50s and 60s now, and they went to college together. But I think what she told me one day that was so cool, she said, you know, friends are, you know, your friend can always be in the car, but they might have a different seat in the car. I messed it up, but it's something like that. You know, she was like, you might need to throw one of them in the trunk sometimes, but they still in the car. But some friends gonna be in your front seat, you know, your road dog. Some might be in the back seat. And I had to look at that like, wow. And she also said something that was kind of hurtful at the time. She said, as females, we give our significant other a lot more passes than we do our
friends. Yeah, we do.
Sometimes we have more grace with our friends.
I think sometimes that's done in the right way, you know, because it is your spouse, and that's Bible. You know, you're supposed to forgive and forgive. Well, I guess you're supposed to forgive everybody.
I'm talking about when it ain't your spouse, when it's just
oh well, I mean, you know, those things will make you do, love will make you do crazy things. Love and lust will make you make crazy choices. Yes.
Definitely. And she probably
She probably did.
Why it rings so true for me.
Yes.
But you know that's why I like that quote. You know, friends are the family you choose.
Yes.
And I think that is so like near and dear to my heart.
Yeah, because you're definitely a chosen family member. Like, definitely a chosen family member. Our relationship has like blossomed, even has branches to where we've connected with your family on different levels. Like, I've done her family's hair, but not more than I've done her hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Shatavia, Shay Shay. Tell me about your book. You gonna wrap something for us tonight? It's about look, we going over, Shay. It's 8:42. Why usually finish about 8:35?
You gonna make me talk about my book? Okay.
Yes, come on.
Thank you, friend.
Yes.
I need to do so. I have one of the things that has helped my self-care and mental wellness over the years is writing. And so during a time, I usually write and publish when as a part of my grief process or different changes. So my first book, and I'm glad you reminded me to grab it. They're both poetry books. So one is it's Alex Shea Collections, and it's Love, Life, Loss, and New Life. This is the first one.
Yes, put it up so everybody can see. There you go.
We have our butterfly connection.
Yes.
And then the recent one is volume 2, Grief, Growth, Grace, and Gratitude. And yeah, thank you for supporting me, friend.
Yes, always. You know I'm always. So you know y'all can pick up the book on Amazon. It's on Amazon?
No, it is on my website.
On your website.
AlexShayWrites.com.
Okay, we'll put it in the we'll definitely put it in the comments. Y'all make sure y'all follow Dr. Shay Speaks, and it's linked in your bio.
Yes.
On Instagram.
For therapy and consulting or referrals, because I have boundaries with my practice as well and my time.
Oh, believe me, you better. So all y'all crazy people, don't go calling my friend thinking she gonna be y'all. Oh.
You know, something else.
That's not my career. All y'all crazy people think y'all gonna go find my friend. No, everybody, but just understand, everybody, that when you reach out, she may not be the fit for you. The one she does that consultation, just like me. When I do a consultation, everybody is not a fit for me. Just because I do hair, don't mean I can do your hair, and it's okay. We can still be friends. We can still see each other, and y'all can still watch the show and follow us, but we don't have to be in each other's chairs. So I want to thank you so much. I'm excited about next week. So with the live audience, we're going to take anonymous questions. And how we do anonymous questions, you'll be able to write your question down when you come in the door, put it in the box, and Dr. Shay will be able to answer those as we go along with the podcast throughout the evening. So I'm so excited about next week. It's about family. Y'all get ready. Get ready, family. Listen, disclaimer.
It is not therapy. It is not a therapy session.
It is not.
We will have resources for crisis situations and areas that may not be my expertise. And we'll have some appropriate boundaries in place, but it's also a good place to be vulnerable and to connect and collaborate and promote mental health. As some people know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes.
And so there are, can I end with some little quick websites for people? If you are in need of counseling or therapy, Psychology Today is a great resource. Therapy for Black Girls is a great resource. There's also a site called Therapy for Black Men.
Say that one again.
Therapy for Black Men. And there's also a website called Open Path Collective for those without insurance who need a sliding scale or low or no cost place. So we'll talk more about that. And again, if you have any questions about referrals, things of that nature, we can follow up on that. But thank you, buddy.
Y'all got it. Yes, friend. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited to have you back to back weekends. So y'all tune in next week at 7:35 or come join us at 1465 Chattahoochee Avenue, Suite 500 at Gresham Giles Salon for our live broadcast with the live audience next Sunday. What is next Sunday's date? The 22nd? Is that the 20th? It's the 22nd. And Dr. Shay will be in the building. So I thank y'all for joining us tonight. Tonight was a very great show. I got a little bit more transparent than I wanted to, but guess what? That's who Crystal is. So I thank y'all.
Thank you for your transparency. This is healing,
Yeah.
and thank you for being in your industry, but promoting mental health and wellness. You've always been very open, even on your pages, about the benefits of therapy and counseling and how
Yes.
it's not a contradiction to your faith and those types of things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, therapy is your best friend and is my best friend. It is my vitamin every week, y'all. Every week. So I thank y'all for joining tonight. Give Shay a round of applause. Give us some hearts, everybody. I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a wonderful night.
yeah, bye.
Bye bye.